Hello, and welcome to Fortnite Done Right. Many people want to edit fast, but don't know how. From sensitivity to keybinds, there are many important factors that affect your editing speed. Let's start with sensitivity. One thing that most fast editors have in common is a fast sense. This allows you to quickly move your crosshair between tiles, resulting in faster speeds. My current sensitivity is 1200 dpi, 8% X and Y. Some of the fastest editors use even higher sensitivities, such as Ryft at 1200 dpi and 12.5% X and Y. Next is keybinds. Having optimal keybinds is absolutely critical for fast editing. Most fast editors and pros bind their ramp and wall to their mouse buttons, as this is optimal for actions such as 90s and the Mongrel Classic. Common idea is to have your build binds on different fingers than your movement. Good build binds for floor and cone are shift and keys near your spacebar that you can press with your thumb. These binds allow you to always have access to your movement, and free up more keybinds for weapons, your pickaxe, and your editing bind. The best editing binds I have found are F, E, G, and another bind by your thumb. Some of the most common edits that people use are the double edit, the triple edit, the quad edit, the Mongrel Classic, and the full box. There are many different versions of each edit, which can be used in many different situations. Some common mistakes I see people make are not editing with your blueprint. So this is important because if you take the time to pull out your pickaxe in between edits, you're going to slow down. So with edits like the double edit, it might not slow you down that much, but for edits like the triple edit, you have to go all like that instead of just a clean, smooth motion. And while it may not look as good or sound as good, it still is very helpful and will help you improve your speed. The next tip is to make sure you have scroll wheel reset on if you're on keyboard and mouse. Now, this is useful because normally I would have to press my editing key, right mouse button, and then confirm. Whereas with scroll wheel reset, I just have to move my scroll wheel up or down 2 notches. And this is much faster than a manual reset. Whereas, you can just flick and reset very quickly. And that's useful because you can bait enemies, stuff like that. My next common mistake I see is people use large crosshair movements like that, as opposed to small ones, like this. Having good crosshair placement is absolutely essential, and will help you edit much, much faster. This is one of the things that a lot of fast editors have in common, specifically fast editors who may not have the best mechanics in general, such as Martoz. So they just have really good crosshair placement, and this can also help you. If you edit your tiles well, you can also be lined up for a shot. You can also be lined up correctly for a shot. So if opponent is there, I can edit like that, and then my thing should be around their head height, as opposed to that, where it's at the ground, or that, where it's completely off. Because then I don't have to make the flick and hope that it hits. That'll help you hit for more damage. My next tip is how you should practice your edits. Now, one of the best ways to practice it are a blank creative world, like this one, or BHE, as that one's convenient because of build reset. The reason that a blank creative world is good is because it gives you almost no input delay added on, which is helpful. Another good, more realistic way to do it is BHE Creative Fill, or like the Pit and other similar maps, as those will give you lots of pressure constantly from people shooting at you, which will result in you have to use your protected things, and you can actually see how well they work against real enemies. My final piece of advice is about confirm on release. So right now, if I turn confirm edit on release off, I have to press my editing bind, select the tiles that I want to edit, and then press it again to confirm. Now, the reason that there are pros and cons to using it. So the pro is that you can have stuff like this, where you can be behind the wall and ready to edit and hold edits much longer. I can turn around and hold it. I can select, but if I had confirm edit on release on, it would look very different. When I go over there, it invalidates the edit and selects those tiles too. So this is useful. However, if you're trying to be as fast as possible, it is much better to use confirm edit on release. But if you're focusing on more professional gameplay, it's all about personal choice and whether you think that it's better for your gameplay playstyle. For example, another thing, finally, I would like to talk about, it is the disable pre-edit option. So normally, when you take out a build, if you have this option off, you'd be able to do that. You'd be able to pre-edit your stuff. But the reason that this is bad is because you could accidentally build a box like that. And when you're fast editing, like sometimes if you don't actually place the build, you could edit it like that. And then it'll be like that. And then you try to box up, and that happens. So it's generally in the community considered to not be a good idea to have this off. However, in some cases, like Zone Wars, sometimes people do the thing where they block off enemies from placing a wall there and get a nice shot off. But in general, it's, for fast editing at least, it's a much safer bet to just turn it. Just keep it on. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.